A reaction through the help of Mr. Jason Unruhe. He's a political commentator who joins us via Skype out of Niagara Falls, Ontario, in Canada. Mr. Unruhe, welcome to the program. Your thoughts?
Well, I would say, what commitment is he referring to? I don't recall the United States ever making even a single step towards the denuclearization of the country. While they've talked many years, even some past U.S. presidents have said about the inhuman nature of nuclear weapons and that it would be better if there was a world in which nuclear weapons didn't exist, which I agree, it would be a better world, but it's not something that the United States has ever worked towards. In fact, the United States has been the most irresponsible country in the world when it comes to the use of nuclear. The only ones that have used it against a civilian population. They're also primarily responsible for the sale of nuclear weapons, or probably the procurement of nuclear weapons by South Africa, who then gave them to Israel, who continue to, in a very underhanded way, threaten other countries inside the Middle East who do not wish to accept the genocide of the Palestinians or the fulfillment of the interests of the U.S. and Israel in general. Now, nuclear weapons have been frankly a bane on humanity for many decades, particularly with the Cold War. But we're now in an era where the risk of world wars, I think, is not quite what it used to be. But these weapons still continue to and they still continue to be upgraded and renewed by the United States every time. I mean, they pushed very much for the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, which sought only to prevent countries which didn't have nuclear weapons from never getting a hold of them in the future, particularly with regards to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. In other words, to stop an arms race by preventing anybody who couldn't already compete with them to some degree. But the United States has spent a considerable amount of money upgrading its nuclear arsenal in which to threaten those countries which seek to live out from under their jackboot. So it definitely shows that even with the withdrawal from the nuclear, not the withdrawal from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, but withdrawal from other nuclear treaties that were made with Russia, I think that there's no commitment there.
And, when it comes to the peaceful nuclear program of Iran, you have places like the IAEA, you have the U.S. itself, a self-proclaimed controller of things of the sort, coming through, leveling sanctions against other countries. It's ironic, isn't it, Jason, that to be a member of the Non-Proliferation Treaty and the nuclear disarmament, still going strong on nukes like that, and yet there seems to be a great need for some kind of a body for accountability. How do you feel about this, when it comes to the U.S. accountability and, of course, a world body to look over this?
Well, certainly some kind of regulatory body that watches over all of this and allows there to be the proper mechanisms and whatnot to discipline countries that violate the agreement. But the thing is, with any kind of authority that has ever existed, there needs to be some kind of force to back it up. When you break the law, the police are informed and they come and arrest you. Exactly what's going to be done to the United States if they refuse to go along with the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty? What's to say anyone can do to them whenever they break the law in general? Who's going to stand up to them?
Yeah.
Essentially, that's the case. And it seems that most of these things that had these programs or stuff like that have only been very good at keeping weapons out of the hands of those who already don't have them, and many seeking to actually have them. For there to be some kind of regulatory body to keep countries disciplined in this case would actually be very, very nice. But we must be real about the reality that it takes to enforce such rules.
Yeah, what can I say, Jason? One can only hope, if not dream, of a better world. Thank you very, very much. That's Mr. Jason Unruhe in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Have a good time.